Hey, how's it going? Zach D Productions here. So as you can see, I am back in my room right now. I am not in my entertainment room at the moment. The reason being is because my dad has been using that room. He's been putting stuff away, mainly old photos of him and my mother and everything. So the room is kind of a mess right now. Everything's kind of scattered around as he's trying to organize all that stuff. So this is just what you're going to have to deal with for now. I am filming this video back in my room. So this is something that I've been wanting to talk about with you guys for quite some time now. I've had these feelings for at least a couple of years. And I've been wanting to do this video for some time now, but I think the reason it took so long for me to come out with this video is because I wasn't sure how to go about it. Like, maybe I just didn't know what exactly I wanted to say in this video, and I'm sure later on, after I'm done recording and everything, I'll probably think to myself, oh, I should have brought up this, I should have brought up that. But you're always going to have moments like that when you record discussion videos like this. But in this video, I want to go over why I don't classify as a metalhead. Why I don't like that label for me personally. Now, if you are someone that does identify yourself as a metalhead, that is totally fine. This is just for me personally and why I have these feelings and why I personally don't like the label for myself. So I will go over some reasons why. Now, I feel like some people, when I say that, they might get the wrong idea. Some people might think that because I say that I don't classify myself as a metalhead these days, some people might take that as me saying, oh, he's walking away from metal completely. Like he's done with all these bands, he's done with all metal, basically. That's not what this means at all. I think there's a difference between someone who listens to metal and someone who's a metalhead, if that makes sense. I feel like those are two different variants, but I feel like you do have to draw the line somewhere. And I feel like where I'm at, I feel like I'm in that category that's more not like a metalhead. Obviously, you guys know for years that I'm into metal. There's a lot of bands in metal that I do enjoy, that I do love. And I've been listening to metal for years. But I've thought about this more recently, maybe like over the past year or so, that I really don't like the label metalhead for myself. I really don't like that label for myself. Now, back in 2016, 2017, I probably would have told you something totally different. That yes, I am just straight up a metalhead. And I was that type of person that would say that metal is the only genre that matters and everything else is garbage, basically. Even though I did have some guilty pleasures, you know, even if I didn't want to admit it. But I think these days, for me, I prefer the term music fan. I would more so align with that label. I prefer the term music fan nowadays over metalhead to classify myself personally. Because it has gotten to the point where I'm into many different types of music. I mean, really, the only types of music that I'm not really into are country and rap for the most part. I'm not really into rap, maybe other than like the rapping in Linkin Park and POD. I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that there's talented rap artists out there. I mean, obviously, if you had to make me choose which genre to listen to, rap or country, I'd probably go with rap, to be honest. But yeah, country is probably my least favorite genre of music ever, to be honest. But other than that, you know, I find a little bit of something in everything, you know, like it's kind of gotten to that point, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. So nowadays, I do prefer the term music fan. And it's gotten to that point where, it's not like I just listen to metal all the time, I can listen to rock. Now, yeah, rock and metal are still my go-to genres, but you get the idea. But I do want to go over some reasons why I don't classify myself as a metalhead nowadays. So let's first go ahead and start off with the first reason. I'm only going to go over a few reasons why I don't like the label for myself, but let's go ahead and get into the first reason. Now, the first reason I don't like being called a metalhead or identify with that label is because I feel that I'm not really into that many styles of metal. I mean, obviously, this all depends on perspective. Like, obviously, to the average normie, someone like them might take a look at my music library and think, oh, wow, you listen to a lot of metal, a lot of different types of metal. I mean, yeah, I do listen to, more than one style of metal, but when I think of metalhead, and I'm sure when a lot of you think of the term metalhead, you think of someone who listens to stuff like death metal and black metal. Whereas me, I don't really listen to those genres, to be honest. And I know that I've low-key gotten crap for that, but it's oh well. But, if those genres, if they're not my cup of tea, they're not my cup of tea. I don't know what you want me to do about it. If I can't get into those genres, if I really don't enjoy those genres, then so be it. And I don't. I really don't find anything in those genres. So there you have it. I mean, I've tried getting into those genres. Now, I probably do like death metal more than black metal, but even then, I don't even listen to death metal very much. So there you go. I mean, it's just the way it is, I guess. When it comes to metal for me, I mostly stick to thrash, new metal, and progressive metal, and traditional heavy metal as well. And some metalcore as well. I mean, I don't really listen to metalcore as much as I used to, but, obviously there's still bands in the genre that I do like this band right here. So that's something that I did want to point out. So, yeah, even though I'm into more than one style of metal, that doesn't really mean anything, And obviously, when it comes to the subject of what's extreme, obviously that's another thing as well, because I know there's the argument that thrash metal is extreme metal, which I guess if you want to say, I'm into extreme metal as far as thrash goes, so be it. But that's about as far as I'll go with that. Like bands like Sepultura and Overkill, like some people might see as extreme metal, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a confusing one, you could say. But either way, when it comes to the more extreme styles of metal, like death metal and black metal, I'm not into that stuff. I'm not into that stuff, I mean, this could be another thing that adds to the list of why I'm not into those genres. And it's the fact that, I do like melody. I'm still an individual who likes melody in my music. And unfortunately, when it comes to death metal and black metal, I don't know. For me personally, it's like I want to feel something when I listen to music, and I don't really feel anything with black metal or death metal. Like when you listen to those genres, at least for me personally, I just feel like you kind of got to sit there like, just, just like no emotion, if that makes sense. I mean, I know this might be a hot take for some people, especially for the metal elitists out there and the hardcore fans of those genres. If you enjoy death metal and black metal, there's nothing wrong with that. You can enjoy those genres all you want, but this is just coming from my perspective, and this is just my opinion, all right? So that's something that I did want to go over here, And again, the fact that, I want mostly melody, could be one of the other reasons why, But oh well. Now, another thing that I feel I shouldn't identify myself as a metalhead, another reason, is pretty much the fact that I actually like both rock and metal about the same. It's not like I prefer metal these days over rock like I did back in the past. Back in 2016, 2017, I would have told you a totally different thing. I would have said, screw all rock music, metal is where it's at. That's basically what I would have told you back then. But I think the rock music that I was mostly implying then was stuff like Breaking Benjamin. Now, I like Breaking Benjamin, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I've kind of grown out of that style of music. You know, it's not like then I was wanting to look more into bands like Breaking Benjamin, as I've done that a lot as a teenager, and I wanted to have growth in my musical journey. And, you know, I didn't really see myself getting into like classic rock, like old school rock bands like Led Zeppelin at the time. I mean, obviously they've really grown on me now, and they're probably one of my favorite bands these days. So there you have it. I mean, you know, I guess I didn't realize that I could like an entirely different spectrum of rock, you could say. You know, and there's rock bands of the 90s that I've, you know, grown to like Alice in Chains and, you know, other bands, and even the Cranberries, which, you know, I'm sort of a newer fan of. Um, you know, and of course the prog rock genre, which I've been into that scene for a few years now. Bands like Rush and Yes and King Crimson, you know, and Genesis, of course. But yeah, it's really gotten to the point where I like both genres, rock and metal, about the same. It's not like how it was in the past where I would say, you know what, no more rock music for me. It's all metal for me. And maybe that's one of the reasons why then I did consider myself a metalhead. Again, I don't need to keep going in circles with that, but you get where I'm coming from with that. So the fact that I do like genres, both these genres about equally, I guess, is another reason. Now, I guess the last reason I'll go over here for this video. Now, don't take this as me saying that this is the majority of the reason. I mean, it is a big reason, but it's not the only reason, and it's not the majority of the reason. So don't take it that way. And this kind of goes back to me not being into black metal or death metal. And another reason why I'm not really into those genres, and again, the average metal elitist might laugh at me for this, but I'll get into that. And it mainly has to do with basically my personal beliefs, all right? It mainly has to do with my beliefs. And I don't feel right about being into those genres, especially since those genres, they go against what I believe for the most part, especially when we're talking the black metal scene mainly. Mainly black metal is what I'm speaking about here, since when it comes to black metal, a lot of that is more on the satanic side of things, you know? And, you know, again, some people, especially these metal elitists out there, you know, they might poke fun at me for that, you know, because, like, my morals and values are, I guess, more important, God forbid, you know, than me getting into something that, you know, I'm not even that big of a fan of anyway, you know? But at the same time, like, these metalhead elitists that might want to say that, you know, I'm crazy for being this way, but these are the same people that refuse to check out Christian metal just because it's Christian. So it's kind of ironic if you think about it. So it's like, how are they any better? You know? So you don't have a problem with Satanism in your music, but you have a problem when Christianity's in your music. It kind of doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it doesn't matter what you believe. Like, if you're really this person that doesn't believe in anything, both sides should be laughable to you, technically speaking. And it's kind of funny because a certain someone thinks that I disrespect people's religious views, which is really funny to me. But some of you might know who I'm talking about here, but I'm going to move on from that person. But yeah, I mean, again, like my views and my morals and everything, they're more important than black metal and death metal and all that stuff, I mean, granted, I don't think, I'll convert in any way, if I do listen to that stuff, because again, I there's some tolerable death metal bands, that I can listen to, but, it's not like I listen to them all the time, It's just, well, again, going back to what I said earlier, I just have a hard time getting into these genres, and the fact that they do go against my views and what I believe personally and some of my beliefs and everything, it basically just adds to the list, you could say. And you could say that, my morals and values and beliefs and whatnot is another reason why I don't like the Metalhead label. Because, again, with a lot of the extreme stuff, it does go against what my beliefs are. Now, it's not like I have to listen to music. It's not like every band I listen to, I agree with everything. Obviously that's impossible. You're not going to agree with everyone on everything. But again, I feel like those genres, they take it to the extremes. Because I know some people might want to say, well, you listen to Overkill, you listen to Metallica, but again, they're not as extreme. So there you go. But yeah, this is just one of those things that I did want to bring up here, and I mean, I guess you could say this is one of the reasons why, it's kind of hard for me to get along with a lot of metal fans, between that and the elitism and everything. I mean, I could go down the list, really, but I just wanted to go over some reasons why I don't identify as a metalhead these days. Again, I prefer the term music fan. So that's what I want to be called from this point moving forward. Music fan. All right? So there you have it. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from here. Let me know what you think. Again, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. As long as you respect my opinion, I will respect yours. It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. You can listen to all the extreme metal all you want. It doesn't really affect me at all. So, but regardless, let me know what you all think. So, thanks for watching.